Yeah, true. Yeah. Yo. Okay. 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 Explained. Layer 1. Yo! Song? Yo. Yeah, okay. It never came out. Okay. Really? Of Zelda. Okay. Yeah. But I remember this disc. I remember this, bro. Oh. But I remember this. Yeah. What the fuck? Yo, Nintendo Nintendo made it first in all of your favorite influencers. It was on internet. Yeah. Ah, shit. Oh, yeah, like, yeah. Okay. Yo! I don't kind of remember of this. Okay. Oh, okay. Dragon King. Huh? Até amanhã. Mas eu vou tomar gato assim. Ok. 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 Yes. Okay. Wait a minute. I just need to bring my cat. Find my cat. Or that. Okay. Yo, that's crazy. Yeah. Yeah. I already listened this. Nintendo, what? Okay. Okay, I get it, kind of get it now why they didn't do a a live, live, a live action of like the new one. Okay. Okay. Yo, yeah, I remember seeing that in direct. Really? Mm. Mm. Okay. Okay. Yo. It is a full ass story. Okay. Takes on America. Huh? Okay. Mm. Okay. 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 Well. Here we go again. We saw this already. Pokemon. Pokemon. You guys say Pokemon. Pokemon. I understand these people. I look at that in black and white and I'm feeling bad. Like I wanna throw up. It was black and white. What the fuck? Shut. It happened with you too. Miiverse. Yo, I remember this. Ah, ah. Yo. Okay. Bring this up because. Huh? It's just super hard, bizarre, and gross. Okay. I don't wanna find it. Bro. Oh! This one is the meme! Is the meme! Is the meme! You know that meme of Mario? Like. Wait. Is literally the meme of Mario. They were predicting the future. Mario Imagine Dragons. No, wait. Meme. The meme. Here we are. In. Bro. I don't find it. Here we are. We are. Bro. cannot find it. I need to go to TikTok. Are you seriously with me? Okay, we can pause it. Thank you. Here we are. Na, 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 na. Here we are. So,
It's a me.
bro, I see it in almost every day because of YouTubers that I watch.
Those systems, but Nintendo 3DS comes with an extending stylus. Hello, little stylus. Hello, Mario. As it does for those systems, but Nintendo 3DS comes with an extending stylus. Hello, little stylus. Hello, Mario. As it does. As it does for those.
Mario. The meme. We are in layer 2. It's almost an hour.
Marrec está deitado. Marrequinho está deitadinho.
Okay. Could be. Okay. Oh. Okay. Mm. Crazy. Oh, nice. But years ago, you were doing that shit that we just saw earlier. Bro. Bro. Bro! You don't know what Wii Sports did to us. Nintendo. You think Wii Sports is friendly family? You think Wii Sports is friendly family, Nintendo? It's not! It's not! It's not! You don't know how... You don't know what we did on that game. Huh? Oh. Yeah. Okay. At least that. By the way, I think the sound of video is either low or muted. I think it's probably low. It's probably really low. Or is muted. Oh no. Really? Oh my god. But, huh? What's that muted? What is this? What does this has to do with?
Nintendo. It aired on
Okay.
KTV from September 11th, 1989 to November 20th, 1989. On King Koopa's Cool Cartoons, it was basically like a bumper almost.
What do you mean ES Sports is in the money? What do you mean?
Introduce some vintage public domain cartoon. Although 65 episodes were reportedly produced over a single season, no complete episode has ever surfaced. The show never received home media release and vanished quickly after its short run. The only fragments
Actually,
shared by a retro
that's really creepy. And why is Mario like that?
In 2005, who claimed to have 2 recorded episodes but has since disappeared, and the footage remains unavailable. Some pieces, such as a brief intro sequence, have eventually emerged online thanks to archival efforts. The show would face backlash from parents for its menacing tone and questionable humor.
I know where you live, Arthur.
Virtual Boy Mario Land. When Nintendo released the Virtual Boy in 1995, they intended to release
Here we
a
go.
full-fledged platformer starring Mario. A tech demo of Virtual Boy Mario Land, known initially as Mario Adventure, was shown off at Winter CES 1995, featuring the first level. Judging by some in-game artwork, Wario would have also been the main antagonist. The game was cancelled, probably due to the Virtual Boy's critical and commercial failure. The game has yet to be found, and it's unknown if Nintendo still has a copy.
Well,
McDonald's eCrew Development Program. The McDonald's eCrew Development Program, or ECDP, was a Japan
wait, what?
DS training game developed in the
No
1900s.
way.
Unlike most DS titles, it was never intended for retail release, but rather it was distributed only to McDonald's restaurants in Japan as part of employee training. The game used touchscreen minigames, videos, and interactive scenarios to teach new hires how to prepare food, take orders, clean equipment, and deliver good customer service.
Why you need that on McDonald's, honestly?
Would provide a friendly and accessible training tool for younger staff members, many of whom were already familiar with Nintendo's hardware. For years, the game remained an oddity, only known through promotional images and a few Japanese news reports. Because it was tied to a very specific corporate training initiative, and never sold to the public, most assumed it would just become lost forever if McDonald's stopped using it. Collectors and lost media enthusiasts were intrigued, but there was no sign of the software itself, only marketing material and vague descriptions of how the program functioned. However, that would change in June 2020 when a physical copy of the eCrew development program as well as the exclusive McDonald's brand DS surfaced on Yahoo Auctions Japan. YouTuber Nick Robinson
What?
bought the system and successfully dumped its file contents, making the ROM publicly available. It's New Year's Eve, Pocket Monsters
Okay.
Encore. It's New Year's Eve, Pocket
Crazy.
Monsters Encore is an hour-long New Year's Eve special for the Pokemon anime that was set to air on December 31st, 1997, between episodes 39 and 40. It was most likely just a simple recap of the show's most notable events up to that point, but was ultimately cancelled due to the fallout of the infamous Pokemon
No way.
incident that occurred earlier in the month due to the episode I talked about in Layer 1. Donkey Kong Racing.
No way.
Donkey Kong Racing was a cancelled GameCube game developed by Rare as a spiritual sequel to Diddy Kong Racing. The concept went beyond simple racing as players could switch between animals that they were racing on mid-race, taking advantage of their unique abilities, and navigate tracks filled with hazards such as falling trees and roaming wildlife. Unfortunately, Donkey Kong Racing never made it past early development. Rare was in deep financial shit at the time, and Nintendo eventually sold the company to Microsoft in 2002. Since Rare no longer had access to
Microsoft.
Nintendo's Donkey Kong license, the project was reworked into Saberman Stampede, an Xbox exclusive game featuring Rare's older mascot Saberman instead of the Kongs. Pokepark Asari Taikai DS.
Okay.
Pokepark Asari Taikai DS was a Japan-exclusive Nintendo DS game released in March 2005 at a temporary Pokemon-themed venue called Pokepark in Nagoya. The game was acquired using Nintendo's Download Play service. Download Play let Nintendo and its partners distribute games at stores, events, or kiosks. This game would let you fish for water-type Pokemon in a river-like environment. You could store up to 5 different Pokemon based on size, level, and rarity.
Pokemon,
and
bro.
scores that were displayed on an external leaderboard. It was developed as a short, location-specific experience, giving fans a unique interactive attraction during the Pokepark events. The game is considered lost media because Download Play titles only resided temporarily inside of a DS's RAM, disappearing when the system was powered off. Only a handful of gameplay videos uploaded by a user provide evidence that the game once existed, but these clips do not preserve the software itself. Variants of the game were reportedly available at Pokemon Center stores, Pokemon Festa events, and even in Taiwan's Pokepark 2006, yet none of these versions have been recovered either. Despite the surviving videos and documentation, without a recovered ROM or playable build, Pokepark Asari Taikai DS remains completely lost media.
Okay. Pokemon, bro. Pokemon.
Mario Kart Wii port. First released in May 2015, the NVIDIA Shield was initially marketed by NVIDIA as a microconsole,
I'm sorry.
emphasizing its ability to play downloaded games and stream games from a compatible PC on a local network or via the GeForce Now subscription service. As with all other Android TV devices, it can also stream content from various sources using apps, and also supports 4K resolution video. Now you may be asking, what the hell does this have to do with Nintendo lost media? Well, for some reason, only in China, the NVIDIA Shield would release with 4K quality remasters of Wii games, some of which including Mario Galaxy, Donkey Kong Country Returns, New Super Mario Bros. Wii, among others. These games were all officially released, and they aren't lost. But there was one game that was shown off in promotional material such as this video right here. This game never released to the public. That was Mario Kart Wii. My guess as to why it was scrapped is with
Mario Kart
Wii. Online
Wii.
functionality had shut down far before the NVIDIA Shield was being released in China. This was back in 2017, mind you, 3 years after Mario Kart Wii. Servers were dead and buried. Mario Kart Double XL. Mario Kart Double XL is a previously lost Game Boy Advance tech demo developed by Dinaris Entertainment Software in 2004. The demo was pitched to Nintendo of Europe, but ultimately never released. The gameplay of Mario Kart Double XL was limited to a single track featuring Mario in a 3D overhead view. The track resembles Peach Circuit from Mario Kart Super Circuit, with a lower background layer depicting beach islands in an ocean, which kinda looks like Shy Guy Beach. Despite the presence of coins and a lap counter, you can't collect coins or complete additional laps. The demo also has no items, drifting mechanics, and other gameplay elements typical
Of Mario Kart.
of the Mario Kart series. The demo was distributed on a Game Boy Color cartridge shell, which is unusual for GBA software. It was discovered in August 2015 by the YouTube channel Steven78, which recorded and uploaded footage of the demo being played on a GameCube via the Game Boy Player accessory. This video provided the first public glimpse of the demo. In October 2022,
Okay.
the demo resurfaced online when video game preservationist Forest of Illusion uploaded it to the internet. Nintendo Arcade. Nintendo Arcade was a website developed and published by Nintendo, which hosted online Adobe Flash games made to promote various Nintendo games and franchises. In total, 38 games were published on the website between 2006 and 2007, before the website was taken down in late 2007. Many of the games
I remember playing here,
here,
actually.
These games were subsequently archived by the web game preservation project Blue Maximus Flash.
I remember
using the
this.
Flashpoint software. However, several of the games have not been saved and currently remain lost. Of the 38 games, 13 are still lost. Mario and Sonic at the Sochi 2014 Olympic Games 3DS. In June 2013, Sega confirmed that a new Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games title was coming to the 3DS and Wii U. However, after the Wii U version came out, the 3DS version was never released, and the reasons behind its cancellation
Okay.
remain unclear. Despite the absence of
Yeah.
an official 3DS release, there are some indications that the game was in development. Amazon UK listings during the period were up, promoting a 3DS version, albeit without box art. Additionally, some promotional materials and press releases mention
Okay.
the 3DS as a platform for the game. The lack of an official release and the disappearance of any promotional materials have led to speculation about the reasons behind
That.
the cancellation. Some theories suggest that the 3DS
Cancellation.
version was scrapped
Okay.
due to development challenges or shifting priorities within Sega and Nintendo. Others believe that the game's development was halted because of the focus on the Wii U version, which was the primary platform for the series at the time. This all makes the 3DS port a lost and potentially non-existent piece of media. Waluigi's Toenail Clipping Party. There's some disturbing, even illegal entries on this Iceberg chart. However, I think this one takes the title as the most disgusting one I'll talk about. The game was made to promote Mario Tennis for the Nintendo 64, and was discovered in a Nintendo Power Magazine article. In this game, the player is tasked with clipping Waluigi's toenails and catching them in a jar. In the Nintendo Power Online section from the September 2000 issue of
Why,
Power,
Nintendo?
there's an entry
Why?
Mamma mia, it's Waluigi, describing the contents of the promotional website waluigi.com. No archived version of this Flash game has ever surfaced, thank God. Wangan Sensen Red
Yeah,
City.
same.
Wangan Sensen Red City is a cancelled Virtual Boy game that was set to be released sometime in 1996. The game, like many others, was likely cancelled due to the failure of the Virtual Boy. Translating the title of the game suggests that it would have been a
Yeah.
tactical war simulator, and the screenshots seem to confirm this. A prototype is known to
Yeah.
exist, as well as 3 screenshots of the game. Besides this, little information is known, and no prototype has ever surfaced online. Halo DS. In January 2007,
Halo.
editor-in-chief Matt Casamassina claimed to have played a version of Halo for the Nintendo DS. Later that year, on October 2nd,
Crazy.
he demonstrated on-camera in-game footage of what he described as an early development version of Halo DS. The demo featured dual-wielding and a rendition of the Halo 2 map Zanzibar. The bottom screen of the Nintendo DS was utilized primarily for the motion tracker, and also displayed the player's weapons and shield health. Despite the gameplay that was shown, Bungie, the developer of the Halo series, claimed that this demo was an unsolicited pitch and not officially sanctioned project. Bungie employees Brian Gerard and Frank O'Connor stated that while it's possible someone created a prototype and attempted to pitch it, there was never any officially funded or sanctioned development of a DS Halo game. As of now, the demo has not been officially released to the public. Kirby Bowl 64. Kirby Bowl 64 is the unreleased prototype of what eventually became Kirby's Air Ride for the GameCube. Nintendo released Kirby's Bowl for the SNES in 1994. Later, in 1995, a sequel was announced alongside Super Mario 64 and Pilot Wing 64 for Nintendo's next console. Kirby
Okay.
Bowl 64 was covered in magazine previews and had some early footage debut at Nintendo's 1995 Shoshinkai trade show.
Okay.
However, when the Nintendo 64 launched in 1996, Kirby had simply vanished. Eventually, the game resurfaced after being retooled into Kirby's Air Ride. Footage and previews confirmed that Kirby Bowl 64 was a 3D evolution
Kirby
of its predecessor,
Bowl.
where Kirby assumes the role of a golf ball. To date, no playable version of Kirby Bowl 64 has ever surfaced, and very little footage of the game is currently available. Mario's Face. Mario's Face is a DS tech demo that was developed by Nintendo EAD and shown off at E3 2004 to display the capabilities of Nintendo's then new system, the Nintendo DS. The player could select
Okay.
Mario or Wario and then use the stylus on the touchscreen to grab parts of their face. You could pull and stretch them, similar to the Mario 64 title screen. This feature was also put into Super Mario 64 DS, albeit in a much simpler form. This particular demo has not been shown since its E3 presentation and has never been dumped online. Pikachu
Okay.
DS. Similarly, at E3 2004,
Pikachu
Nintendo
DS.
showcased a tech demo starring Pikachu. It was made to show off the console's 3D
Oh.
capabilities, microphone, and touchscreen. The player could
Okay.
engage in various activities with a 3D model of Pikachu, including grabbing and stretching its body parts, which is
You know,
like the
this
last tech
were
demo,
more
tracing a picture of
to
Pikachu, using the
understand.
stylus to scratch off scratch cards, playing a guitar and xylophone, or measuring Magikarp that Pikachu caught. The demo has never surfaced.
Come on,
outside
this would be so
presentation, and no
cute.
ROM is known to exist. Terubi Denwa Super Mario World. Terubi Denwa Super Mario World is an arcade game that was released in 1992 by
Good God.
Van Western.
Yeah, good
The game
God.
consisted of Mario asking the players puzzle-based questions or action-based questions. Terubi Denwa Super Mario World was exclusive to Japan, and for years, its ROM file
Okay.
had never been distributed online. Most game screenshots and video footage are very low quality. James Bond Smash Melee. There was very nearly a point where Pierce Brosnan's James Bond was added to Super Smash Bros. Melee. Soon after the
No
original
way.
Super Smash Bros. Game released, series creator Masahiro Sakurai ran a poll on the game's official Japanese website asking fans who they would be interested in seeing if there was ever a second Smash Bros. James Bond actually
A second Smash Bros. That's what they said.
Amount of fan demand for the character to be playable. While this obviously didn't end up happening, the story as to why is still fascinating to look back upon. Submarine Tech Demo. Submarine Tech Demo was a demo broadcast over DS Download Play in E3 2005. Not much is really known about this demo, aside from the fact that it was shown off at E3 2004 as well, and it later evolved into the 3DS launch title Steel Diver.
Okay. Layer 4.
Nintendo On Extended Trailer. Nintendo On was a hoax video that surfaced online throughout 2005 and 2006 as an alleged trailer for Nintendo's upcoming console. The video was created entirely by Pablo Belmont, who you may know as the guy who created the Mario Galaxy DS hoax.
Okay.
This Nintendo On video was popular enough to trick a majority of fans online, as well as garner the attention of Reggie Fils-Aimé himself. However, the video that surfaced online is a rushed recreation and not the original extended video. The video was in production when rumors in
okay.
online forums began regarding a new and upcoming Nintendo console. While not much is known about this video's production, it is believed to have been very high in production quality and energy. Pablo had passed out and crashed into bed.
What's supposed to be this?
At an unknown timestamp during production, Pablo's hard drive crashed, which left most of the files for the project wiped or corrupted. Due to the rebuild likely taking up lots of time, Pablo decided not to use parts of the uncorrupted and recovered files, but rather he'd quickly whip up a recreation of the final project. The extended version of this video was planned to be at least 30 minutes in length, and the final video only represents 10% of what Pablo had in mind for the video. The only piece of content Pablo was able to recover from the extended version was the Metroid and Mario game parts. It is believed that hundreds of gigabytes of data were wiped. The final video was shared online before E3 2005, which was Pablo's planned release and why it was rushed for production.
I'm so confused.
Carving
What
is a
was
Nintendo
that
DS
supposed to
demo
be?
shown off at E3
It's
2004.
supposed to be a VR thing?
As the name suggests, it appears to have featured the ability to carve objects, which included a bat, Mario, a trophy, and an unknown object possibly themed around Yoshi. Footage of this demo in action is kind of scarce and no playable build has ever surfaced. This game also wasn't reworked into a different title, which is usually the fate with most of Nintendo's small tech showcases. New Super Mario Bros. Mii. New Super Mario Bros. Mii is a tech demo for the Wii U shown off at E3 2011. It was based on the Wii game New Super Mario Bros. Wii, but it had new levels and allowed the players to play as Mii characters. It was meant to demonstrate the Wii U's off-TV play mode, which allowed the game to be played on the Wii U gamepad without using the TV screen. When the Wii U was released in the following year in 2012, one of its launch titles, New Super Mario Bros. U, was very similar to this demo. The actual demo hasn't been seen since E3 2011 and is currently unavailable. Stage Debut. Stage Debut was another cancelled game that was created for the Nintendo GameCube. The game was designed to be used alongside the cancelled Game Boy Advance camera peripheral called the Game Eye. Using the camera, you could take a picture of your face and then import it onto your character's model in-game. The game was said to feature characters from the Super Mario Bros., Animal Crossing, and Pikmin series of games. The game's only known public showcase was at E3 2003, which demonstrated how the Game Eye would transfer photos to the GameCube to be used in-game. Though it was never officially confirmed, the game is widely believed to have been cancelled because of the Game Boy Advance peripheral Game Eye never coming out. At E3 2008, Shigeru Miyamoto said that the game was, in my mind, still alive, by pointing out the game's connection between the introduction of Mii's and the Mii channel on the Wii. And all that remains of the game are screenshots and videos taken of the demonstration at E3 2003. Donkey Kong Coconut Crackers. In the early 2000s, game development company Rare was making several games for the game.
Like, I'm kinda tired of it stopping.
Nintendo-owned characters. One of these games was Donkey Kong Coconut Crackers. Donkey Kong Coconut Crackers was going to be a puzzle game with an isometric view. Donkey Kong would drop coconuts filled with paint, and the player must use this paint to make squares and rectangles. In September of 2002, when Microsoft bought Rare Limited, they had to cancel and/or rework many of the games they were developing. Donkey Kong Coconut Crackers was cancelled, and the idea was reworked into a Game Boy Advance game called It's Mr. Pants. Mario Motors. Announced in 2007 for the DS, Mario Motors was a planned racing game directed by Yoshiaki Koizumi, the famed Nintendo developer behind Super Mario Galaxy and later Super Mario Odyssey. Unlike a typical Mario Kart game, Mario Motors wasn't about driving cars on tracks, but it was centered on building and racing your own engines. The idea was that the players would design virtual engines by sculpting metal parts with the DS stylus and then testing how well they ran. The DS's touchscreen and microphone were supposed to play a huge role in the gameplay. For example, players would sculpt engines on the bottom screen by cutting and shaping metal, then use the microphone to blow away the shavings, almost like a digital workshop. Once the engine was built, it could be tested in races where performance depended on how well the
song sounds really good.
Despite being publicly revealed, Mario Motors quietly disappeared. Nintendo never officially cancelled the game, but it simply faded out of mention after its announcements. Cat Roots. Cat Roots was a Nintendo 64 game of unknown genre developed by Margot Management. Cat Roots is kind of an elusive title as it was never officially announced despite a playable build being present at E3 2000. An animated teaser for the game was also shown off at E3 2000 on a display at Nintendo's booth. There was also at least one playable demo booth available at the venue, as you can just barely see it in the back of this picture here. However, no information is known about the playable demo itself. In fact, when IGN asked Nintendo of America employees about the mysterious display, their answer was simply, "We were told to just put it out there." As Cat Roots was in development late into the Nintendo 64's lifespan, it may have been cancelled due to the release of the GameCube in 2001. Nintendo Pen and Chase Baseball.
Probably.
Nintendo Pen and Chase Baseball is an unreleased 2005 GameCube exclusive sports game that was developed by Exile Interactive and was going to be published by Nintendo. Before the game's release was delayed indefinitely, the game was shown off at E3 2005, and the game was originally expected to be released for $49.99. The game was an officially licensed MLB product with all real-life teams and ballpark stadiums from the present and past planned to be featured in the game. The game was originally announced to be released on April 4th to coincide with the MLB's opening day where the Boston Red Sox faced off against the New York Yankees, but was later delayed to June 13th for unknown reasons. To this day, no build of the game has ever been leaked to the public, and all that currently exists online about the game are some screenshots and the game's E3 2005 trailer, along with footage of the game's demo at E3 2005. Wii Connect 24. When the Wii launched in 2006, one of the most unique features was Wii Connect 24, a background online service that kept the system connected to the internet even while in standby mode. It powered the message board, automatic game updates, and of course, the Wii's channels. In Japan, the service also offered exclusive channels like the Digicam Print channel, which let users print digital photos at convenience stores, and the Demai channel, an official food delivery app for ordering meals directly from the Wii. For a long time, Wii Connect 24 content was...
They were so ahead of their
Nintendo
time.
shut the service down in 2013, most of the functions simply stopped working. However, over the years, preservationists have worked to bring these services back. Projects like Reconnect 24 and WiiLink managed to reverse engineer Nintendo's original servers, restoring much of Reconnect 24's functionality. Super Mario no Katsu Anzen. Super Mario no Katsu Anzen is an animated public service announcement based on Super Mario Bros. 3, released in 1989 for use in schools across Japan. The video was released on two formats, both VHS
Wait,
and
what?
16mm film. Very little is known about
Toei
the video,
video.
and its release status is a mystery. They were sold to only
Yo.
Japanese schools and were otherwise not
Mario
available to the
anime.
public. As of 2025, there's still no full version of this film on the internet. The Grinder. The
Sorry.
Grinder is an unreleased first-person shooter game for the Nintendo Wii, developed by High Voltage Software. The game failed to meet its original release date of fall of 2011 and has since remained unreleased. Although High Voltage has yet to make an official statement about what happened to the game, it's obviously no longer in development and probably will never see the light of
They.
day. In the Grinder, players controlled one of four characters, each with their own unique attributes which can be upgraded as the game progresses. You would have had to use different techniques to defeat certain enemies, and would have access to a large number of weapons. The game would also offer players complete customization of the controls, as it was stated to support Wii Motion Plus. Beta Wii channels. On September 14th, 2006, a Japanese Nintendo press conference was held which featured footage of a bunch of Beta Wii content. Most interesting of all, there was footage of the Beta Wii menu, alongside all of the Beta Wii channels. On this menu, we can see early versions of the Disc channel, Me channel, Photo channel, Shop channel, Forecast channel, and News channel. All of these channels, aside from the Disc and Me channel, have entirely different banner images, which is quite interesting. The Beta Me channel's gameplay is almost exactly the same as the final, except there are some additional sound effects when selecting certain buttons, and also a completely new music track.
Where is the do 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 do
No footage of
do
the
do do
channel
do 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 do.
The menu for this one is very different, taking on a teal, blue, and white color scheme, rather than the dark blue and green design of the final. Wii Obstacle Course. The Obstacle Course was part of Nintendo's remote pointer demo used to illustrate the precision and responsiveness of the Wii Remote's pointer and motion sensing. This was available to play
Yeah,
at E3
probably.
2006, a few months before the Wii's release. You controlled the Mii and would have to guide them with the pointer through an obstacle course. It's quite self-explanatory. The weird idle animations for the Miis were actually found in the files of Wii Play, probably because this demo actually shares a lot of DNA with that game's Pose Me minigame. However, the files required to play the actual obstacle course demo have never been dumped online, making this demo currently lost media. Wii Sports Airplane. At E3 2005, Nintendo showcased an early tech demo of what would eventually become Wii Sports. This prototype wasn't a finished game, but rather a collection of simple sport-like experiences meant to demonstrate how the Wii Remote's motion controls could work. Among the sports being shown, most evolved into what we know today: tennis, baseball, and golf, but there was also a fourth activity that never made it into the final release: an airplane sport. The airplane demo placed the player in control of a small cartoonish plane, which could be flown by tilting and moving the remote. Some videos see you having to fly through rings, much like a simplified version of Pilot Wings. The location of this tech demo was very similar to the Woohoo Island location we'd see in 2009's Wii Sports Resort. All of the big sales of Wii Sports minigames shown off at E3 2005 have never been dumped online, making them all lost media. 100 Gode Star
My ear just
Eikaiwa.
hurts so
100
much.
Gode Star Eikaiwa was a Japan-exclusive game in development for Wii, and it was never released. The game featured Miis and was briefly announced at E3 2008. Not much else is really documented about it. I did find an article talking about its disappearance from Nintendo's list of upcoming games in 2010. I'll read an excerpt for you now. 100 Go to Start Eikaiwa was announced in October 2 years ago as a software that allows you to learn English conversation through videos and me's. It was reported at the time that the content of the program that was broadcast on NHK was a game adaptation. After that, the information was cut off, and the materials remained on the list scheduled for release until July 29th, but the title was lost in the new materials posted on October 29th, and it seems that the release was effectively cancelled. My apologies for the questionable grammar. I had to translate what was said since the article was written entirely in Japanese. Cancelled Chinese IQ games. IQ is a Chinese video game localization and console manufacturing company
The
which is also a
IQ.
subsidiary of Nintendo. The company manufactured and distributed official
I just
Nintendo products in
discovered
mainland China until
what it
2014.
was on tier
Along the way, a lot
list.
of Chinese
Like,
localized versions of many Nintendo games were lost
why you
due to the
decided
lack
to
of
do an
preservation of these
IQ.
Chinese titles. On the Game Boy Advance, the Chinese localizations that are lost are Donkey Kong Country, Golden Sun, The Lost Ages, Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, Pokemon Pinball Ruby and Sapphire, The Legend of Zelda Link to the Past, The Legend of Zelda The Minish Cap, and WarioWare Twisted. On the Nintendo DS, the lost games are Big Brain Academy, Daiga Soul Band Brothers,
EK.
Electro
They had
Plankton,
all
Golden
versions
Axe,
of
Adventure Time
EK.
Hunters, and Ridge
Like,
Racer 3D. The entire IQ Wii console as a whole is lost, apart from the console
IQ is like
menu and a few
Nintendo
games,
version
but
for
everything else
China.
is unavailable. Some of
Kinda.
these games
Is that
include
a
Mario
Wii?
Sonic at the Olympic Games, Mario Kart Wii, Super
That's a Wii.
Mario Galaxy, Wii Play, and Wii Sports. Testimony. Testimony refers to a once-lost video that was recovered from Nintendo's official Japanese website in 2006. It was a video featuring many of the developers and minds behind the Wii talking about how it works, why it's special, and their time developing it. The video is entirely
Wow.
in Japanese, and the visuals are very evocative of that aesthetic Nintendo was trying to achieve with the Wii back in this era. Nintendo Video. Nintendo Video was a service on the Nintendo 3DS where you could watch various short-form video content such as music videos,
And Netflix was already
comedy
on
clips, and short films. The
on
service could be
Nintendo.
accessed by the Nintendo Video app, which was available for free on the Nintendo eShop. The Nintendo Video Surface was introduced on July 14, 2011, and was discontinued on March 31, 2014. Additionally, a similar application called Eurosport was released exclusively in Europe. So many videos that were broadcast on the Nintendo Video Service have become lost media, and by the sheer amount of them that are lost, it's unlikely that all will ever be found. Mi Original Software.
Okay.
Otano no Onan no Yoranai Teko, meaning fortune-telling notebook for adult women in English, was a cancelled Nintendo DS game in development by a dev team within Nintendo. The title was eventually reworked into the game Tomodachi Collection. Later, Nintendo partnered up with development studio Jamsworks and released a fortune-telling Nintendo DS game called DS Yoranai Seikatsu, but its significance to the original game is unknown. While very little information about this game is available due to it being completely cancelled, it is known that the game would have been a fortune-telling tool, and that the players could have had avatars based on themselves put into the game, with this concept being later turned into the Mii's and the Mii channel on the Wii. Even though it wasn't released, this game is a rather important one in the Mii franchise, as the game was the first ever instance of avatars resembling Mii's being utilized. Only a few software titles were predating it, like Stage Debut, but that game had avatars that didn't really look like Mii's and rather was just pictures of yourself. All existing media regarding this lost game is a few screenshots showing the Mii Maker, the main room, and both Iwata and Sakamoto's Mii faces, as well as a whopping 7 seconds of footage appearing in a Tomodachi Collection overview trailer. In this footage, we can see these two Mii's in the pink and green room, and they don't exactly do much outside of just sit there and dance a little. This footage does confirm, though, that this game was being worked on in 2005, and that a playable build does exist. Bomberman 3DS. Bomberman 3DS was a game that was originally scheduled for release on the Nintendo 3DS, being produced by Hudson Soft and distributed by its parent company, Konami. The name Bomberman 3DS was only a placeholder name. The game was first announced in February 2011 during a video where it listed some of the games launching on the system that year. The last time it was ever acknowledged was at E3 2011 before being cancelled. From the looks of it, this game appears to be similar to the game Bomberman 64. Mario Galaxy DS. Super Mario Galaxy DS is a fake video game hoax that claims to show a new port of Super Mario Galaxy for the Wii on the DS. Similar to the Nintendo On video I talked about earlier, the trailer to show the fake game was created by video game designer Pablo Belmont. Pablo made the video as part of his college video production class, as he was tasked with creating a viral video. When the video was first uploaded in 2007, it only got 700,000 views, earning Pablo a B. The video shows that if you collect all stars in Super Mario Galaxy for the Wii with Mario and Luigi, you could use the DS's download play feature and unlock Super Mario Galaxy DS. Many people actually believe that this was a real unreleased game, however, it was entirely a hoax. McDonald's eCrew development program Canadian version. As you may know, the McDonald's eCrew
Canadian
was only
version.
ever released in Japan. Or well, that may not be the case. On a video about the program, a comment noted that an English and Canadian version had been tested in Quebec. The comment reads, "There was testing in Longueuil, Quebec as well." There were in fact a French and English version of the game, as well as a bonus task in which you can create poutine, a popular dish in Canada involving fries, cheese, and gravy. The fact this game apparently included poutine is important. Canadian McDonald's added poutine to their menus nationwide in 2013. This suggests that the Canadian version would have been released in 2012 or 2013, as Canadians outside of Quebec could learn how to make the new recipe. The search for the lost version of this game went on from 2020 to early 2021, where the forum regarding it has been inactive since. It's unknown if this game ever existed, but if it did, it's certainly lost. Flowers Blooming Competition. Flower Blooming Competition, also known as Hanasaki Gassen, was a cancelled game for the Game Boy Advance. Hanasaki Gassen was announced at Nintendo Space World 2000 and also planned for E3 under the English translated name Flower Blooming Competition. According to a former employee from the development team, Hanasaki Gassen was a real-time strategy game
They don't
which
have
involved a very
anything.
complex AI system. Not much else is known about the game, and not a single screenshot has ever surfaced.
Yeah, like I can see that.
Space. From 2013 to 2014, Nintendo created a live-action short series
Oh my
called
god.
Tomodachi Life Lessons in Space. The series was created for Nintendo Video and was meant to promote the game Tomodachi Life. The series was about two aliens who had come to take over the Earth, but they used Tomodachi Life as a source for what humans do on Earth. The series ran for 8 episodes
No
before
way.
Nintendo discontinued it. However, it's unknown if any of these episodes were actually created outside of the first 2. This is because in May 2023, 2 of the 8 episodes were actually found by YouTuber The Hourglass Archive. Wii Sports Resort lost minigames. From a small interview with Wired Online magazine, a Wii Sports Resort developer shared some lost info about the massively popular Wii Sports Resort. We considered fishing and a water slide activity before deciding on the final 12 events, Iguchi said. As for more unconventional concepts, we created a pretty fun prototype of kendama, a traditional Japanese toy that just didn't fit the game's theme. And that's it for part 1 of the Nintendo Lost Media Iceberg. Layers 6, 7, 8, 9,
That was
and 10
all.
will be covered in the next video. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Huge thanks to my
Really?
channel members. Love you all. See you all in the next one. Goodbye.
Oh.